Yes guys, welcome back to another video. This one I've been meaning to do for a while. I get a lot of people ask me on social media about what book I'm reading next, any books I recommend, because if you follow me on socials you'll see every morning I get up and I cycle, so I do my cardio and I read, so I use that time to read, so I always do that first thing in the morning. Obviously because of that, sorry, I get through quite a lot of books, so I wanted to do a video on the books that I read in 2022 and then some extra special mentions as books I recommend you to read that changed my life, influenced a lot of decisions I made. Yeah, and just overall good books to read. So I'm just going to dive straight into it. So the first book we've got is, see if it focuses, it should. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Anybody that knows me knows Nike is probably my favourite brand in the world. So this was definitely a book that I didn't have to think about. It was a book that I wanted to read straight away. It's all about the story of Nike. It's actually incredible. The determination, the drive, the ambition. If I could take one thing away from this book, it's the fact of not letting other people's opinion of your dream let you shy away from it. He had a lot of adversity with his family, not agreeing with what he was doing, thinking it was too risky, thinking it wasn't going to work out. He took a couple of loans from his dad. And then I think it was on the last one, he said, "This is the last one, I'm not helping you again." And he obviously turned that into Nike. It's a fantastic story, a fantastic book, a really easy read as well for anybody. So yeah, that is number one recommendation, which I read last year. This one here, weighty book, let me tell you that. Big book. Not the biggest book I read, but up there. So Stephen has made the book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So it's powerful lessons in personal change. This book I actually got sent to me from a friend, and it was a book that I've really stuck into. I know people like to highlight in books. I actually will write in the top of my notes, like this book for example, and then all the important things I like about the book, so I can always refer back to it if I don't want to go back and read it. This teaches you habits of the most successful people in the world, and it's probably one of the best books for opening your eyes. That the best way I describe it actually is, it's not as hard as people make out to be effective. It's not as you see this hustle mentality all the time, grind, do this, do that, but this really narrows it down to some pretty simple and easy steps into how to be more effective with your time, with your personal life, financially as well. So that's book number 2. I will put a link in the description for all the books that I've recommended, so you can pick them up. Let's go to something a bit different. So this book is called The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb. This book is actually amazing. It says, get new customers, make more money and stand out from the crowd. It says on the back, let me read it briefly quickly. It says, to build a successful business, you need to stop doing random acts of marketing and start following a reliable plan for rapid business growth. Traditionally, creating a marketing plan has been difficult and time-consuming process, which is why it is often doesn't get done. This teaches you everything you need to have the best marketing plan. And when I first picked this up, I didn't know whether it would be related to me because I don't have any businesses set up yet. I have all my other things that I'm dealing with, but I use this. If you can hear something in the background, by the way, it's the dog playing with a new toilet I got her. But yeah, so we've got this book. So I actually took a lot of this in regards to my social media, about how to structure it, even YouTube. This is a very good way to simplify how easy it is to set up a marketing strategy to actually elevate everything in your life. Like if you can market yourself, I use this as a personal thing as opposed to business, so I used it to market myself, hence what I do for a living. But yeah, this book, fantastic for anyone that's a business owner or anybody that's into social media, influencer, etc., YouTuber. Fantastic book. He also has a, so yeah, sorry, I had to jump away quickly there, but yeah, fantastic book for anybody that is in social media, has a business, anything. Literally fantastic book. Really helpful. The next book is actually the book I started the year with. Another thick, long read is Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. Take immediate control of your mental, emotional and physical and financial destiny. This book is an absolute gem. Like, anybody that doesn't know who Tony Robbins is, he's a mental health coach, life coach. He's incredible. He's got a series on Netflix, which I recommend you watch. I didn't realise that there's actually a book that comes before this called Unlimited Power. It's in my wardrobe. I will be reading that. It's meant to come before this, but it doesn't really matter too much. But this book, I'll just read the back. It says, are you in charge of your life, or are you being swept away by things that are seemingly out of your control? In Awaken with the Giant, Tony Robbins, the best-selling author of Unlimited Power, which is a book I mentioned before, shows the reader how to take immediate control of their mental, emotional, physical and financial destiny. It is amazing. And the guy that made this book actually has a thing on the back that says, Tony's incredible understanding of the world, people and human nature makes him the ultimate life coach. He knows what it takes to make people excel and win. This is a must read. So fantastic book. I love this, and this is probably a book I'll definitely go back to and read again. And then next one, let's go to, so Gary Vee. Anybody that doesn't know who Gary Vee is, he's huge on social media, very influential, very straight to the point. Do this, do that, no excuses. He has a book called The One Thing, and The One Thing is the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. It's a New York Times bestseller, a Wall Street Journal bestseller, and it says, you want less. You want fewer distractions and less on your plate. The daily barrage of emails, texts, tweets and messages and meetings distract you and stress you out. And what else does it say? And what's the cost? Second-rate work. So yeah, so technically it helps you prioritize things that are most important. We get distracted by doing other little jobs that actually take away the thing that we really should be focusing on, and you know deep down what that topic is that you should really be focusing on. So this is one of his books which I really recommend to everyone. And then so yeah, just in the back it says, in the one thing you'll learn to is cut through the clutter, achieve better results in less time, build momentum towards your goal, dial down the stress, overcome that overwhelming feeling, relieve and revive your energy, stay on track and master what matters to you. So yeah, grab this book. It's a small read, it's really easy as well. Really good read. So on to the next one. This book got bought for me for my birthday. It is from Jake Humphries and Professor Damien Hughes. It's called High Performance, and it is lessons from the best on becoming your best. They have a podcast called High Performance on Spotify and all the other podcast places that you can listen to it on. I didn't actually know about that until this. This is a fantastic book. So it's got drawings on conversations that they've had from their podcast from people like Stephen Bartlett, Tom Daly, Stephen Gerrard, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who else is on there that you might not know? Toto Wolff, Joe Malone, don't know why I say Joe, but anyway. Matthew McConaughey. It's all about how people and what they define, what these top people define as high performance, and how they got to become a high performer. What daily habits they have, rituals, how they apply themselves, and what made them a high performer. So that's a great book for anybody that needs a bit of motivation and a little kick up the backside. Next one. This is a book that I finished a year on, which to me was a book that I didn't know I would love as much as I did. And it's Tyson Fury's new book, Gloves Off. I haven't read any of his other books. I've just read this book. And it is a seriously motivating story about a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes with his life before fights, how he dealt with it, how he overcome it, what's his driving forces, everything that he did to become the best boxer in the world. And also how to deal with his personal life and growing as a person mentally. So anybody that wants a very motivating mental health story and any help with mental health, this is definitely a book that I don't think you would pick up, but you definitely should pick up. So that's that one. This one is the biggest book I've ever read. I'm going to start like that. This book is The Life of AYRTON Senna. Anybody that knows me knows that Senna is one of my idols, one of the people that I look up to in regards to his input to a sport, to life, to charities, to the poverty in Brazil, everything that he'd done as a sportsman. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff doesn't get spoken about as much as it should have. If you haven't seen his movie on Netflix, I highly recommend. Are you alright? Highly recommend that you watch it. But this book is all about Alright, so yeah, so this book is fantastic. It's all about from go-karting in Brazil as a kid all the way to being the best Formula 1 driver ever. I know people can say Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher. There's an interview actually on Sky Sports F1 that if you watch it, it is all the drivers getting asked who the best ever F1 driver is, and they all say AYRTON Senna. Incredible book. I've given her a squeaky toy, it's probably not the smartest decision, is it? But anyway, fantastic book, fantastic story, hence why I read it. Then I have, let's get my notepad, AYRTON Senna notepad, come on. Because I wanted to make a few extra special mentions, books that I didn't read last year, but books that changed my life. So I'm going to start off, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, I hope I said his name right, talks about how you should pay yourself first, and having a poor mindset environment will keep you in that environment. And there's so many values financially to that book. It's probably the best financial book you can read, especially if you're new to finance or you're looking to get into finance. I think that's one of the best books you can read. The next one is, right, and then the next book is David Goggins Can't Hurt Me. So everyone, I'm guessing, knows who David Goggins is. If you don't, I have no idea what you've been doing. But I read his book when I was in Milan in lockdown. And although I do a lot of exercise, a lot of fitness, it made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. That book inspired me to run my first marathon. And he's also got another new book out, which I'm definitely going to buy. God knows what that's going to inspire me to do. But that book is one of the best stories from somebody that has gone from seriously overweight to super driven, Navy SEAL, ultra marathon runner, absolute freak of an athlete. So if anyone wants into fitness or just wants to lose weight and get some motivation, definitely use that book as that. The next book, yeah, it's Millionaire Fastlane. So Millionaire Fastlane is all about not thinking that everything takes a serious amount of time to get rich. It talks about how that you got people that go viral, there's people that just get famous off of nothing, and there's all these different ways that you can be a millionaire really fast. So that book teaches you different habits and techniques of possibly being able to break through and go viral. So that's another great book to read. Another book, Atomic Habits. This is about changing your daily habits to give you a more fulfilled life, in my opinion anyway. Everyone might have a different opinion on what the book is good for, but Atomic Habits is one of the best books. I'm somebody that likes a lot of structure, I like to know what I need to do every single day. I need to have it written down or a program in place so that I can actually work through that. So that's another great book. So I want to give a special mention he's got 3 books out now. The guy's called Vex King. He released a book called Good Vibes, Good Life, which is all about dealing with situations, mental health, bettering yourself, understanding how people work, being more approachable. It's literally a book that can teach you everything you need to really literally get good vibes out of your life. That book changed my life. I read that book when not a lot was going on in my life very well. I was a bit down in the dumps, didn't really know what I wanted to do. That book honestly changed my life. It elevated my career, my personal life, my love life, everything. It literally went sky high. So he has another book called Healing is the New High, which is about dealing with heartbreak, losing people. And I read that and I didn't really know if it was the right time for me to read it. I didn't know if it was going to be helpful. At the time I was reading it with no worries, no loss, no heartbreak, no nothing. And then I lost my nan in January, and I dealt with it really well. Obviously you have your ups and downs, you have your bad moments, but I dealt with it a lot. I thought it was going to shatter me, I thought it was going to ruin my life. I had this outlook, if I lost my nan, everything was going to go to pot, and it didn't. And I look back and I think there's so many practices in dealing with grief, and I feel like I put a lot of it to that book, because that book really taught me a lot and I didn't know when I needed it. So obviously I then found out I did need it. He has got a new book coming out called Closer to Love. I've already read it. It's amazing. It's about building a healthy relationship with yourself to make sure that the other relationships you have around you are better. So that's a fantastic book. It's ready for pre-order now, but I'm going to deal with the puppy again. Oh my word. Yeah, so, and then there's another book that is, I actually listened to it on Audible. It is The 48 Laws of Power. It is a book all about persuasion and obviously laws of power. I'm told, someone told me on Instagram when I put it on my story that it is banned in US prisons because it can help prisoners manipulate guards. Apparently it's that strong. I was actually still listening to that on Audible because I drive a lot or travel a lot for work. I obviously can't read whilst travelling too much at the same time, so I always have a few Audible books on the go. So I'll just bat through some of the ones that I've read, listened to. Sorry, Will Smith's one, fantastic story about him, his career from the bottom up. That's another great recommendation. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's another fantastic book. Anybody that wants to build confidence in relationships, making friends, you don't feel like you fit in. That's a great book to build self-confidence. So there's another book as well called, that I was listening to on Audible, called Relentless. Now I've started it. It is From Good to Great to Unstoppable. It is from Tim Grover. He was the coach for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and he talks about being relentless. It is a book that makes you, literally when I was listening to it, I honestly felt like I needed to do a gym session, or I needed to go for a run, or it's so motivating, but not in like one of them cliche motivational speeches. It's like, no, this is the hard work that these individuals put in. This is why he called it Relentless. He had a program that he used to do with athletes, many athletes, and he talks about how if you really want to get to the top, you have to be relentless. So that's another fantastic listen or read, whatever way you want to do it. Think Like a Monk, Jay Shetty. If you don't already, check out his podcast / YouTube channel. It's incredible. That book is all about how he become a monk and it changed his life. Principles, patience, meditation, gratitude. It's another self-help book, shall we say, but it was a really easy listen because he reads it himself. So I found that really enjoyable. Then the other one I read is The Chimp Paradox. I'm going to bat through these now because I feel like I don't want this video to be too long. You've got The Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters, which is, what is it? Oh, it's all about mind management. So I had to really look at that then. I don't need glasses, I promise. Then the ones that I've got in there to read, or listen to, sorry, I keep saying read. Way of the Wolf, Jordan Belfort. Happy Sexy Millionaire by Stephen Bartlett. Never Split the Difference, Discipline is Destiny, and the 5 AM Club. They're all on my listen list, so I'm going to get to them. I will do a video at the end of this year once I've got through all of them Audibles and all the books that I've got to read. I am currently reading... What am I reading? I am reading Run to the Exercise Bike to grab the book that I'm reading at the moment. And the book that I'm reading at the moment is called Start With Why. I got this for Christmas. From Simon Sinek, I might have said that wrong. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. Why are some people and organisations more inventive, pioneering and successful than others? And why are they able to repeat their success again and again and again? And it says, because in business it doesn't matter what you do, it matters why you do it. Steve Jobs, the Wright brothers and Martin Luther King had one thing in common, and it started with why. This book is for anyone who wants to inspire others or be inspired. I am literally a tiny way through this, and it is all about the story to why people do what they do, and how your business model should be about why, not about what you sell or how you sell it. It's literally about the reasoning why you do what you do. Fantastic book. I'll grab as well the other books that I am currently got ready to bat through, and then I'll wrap the video up. Right, so I had to just go and get them. So the books that I've got lined up after Start With Why is Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power. I'll read that, somebody sent me that. The Art of Resilience by Ross Edgley. Really can't wait to read that. I'll do a review on this at the end of the year. I got this one for Christmas, and I also got this one as well from a friend. It's called Deep Work. So these are the books / audibles I'm gonna try and get through. Now I'll definitely get through them this year with ease. So what I would like though is anybody that's got book recommendations, or anybody that wants a book recommendation based on their current circumstances, if you want to be open with me, hit me up in the comments, let me know your situation. I promise you I've got a book that will help you get through whatever you're going through, or give you that little bit of motivation that you need to just take that little step forward. Sometimes I was never a reader at school. Anybody that knows me knows that my attention span is minimal. I find it, I start one task, I go on to another task, I come back to this task, and I'm a bit of a butterfly brain. I always like to be doing multiple things, whereas some of these books have helped me just kind of narrow down, okay, have a structure in place, do this, 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 and this. And that obviously came from Atomic Habits, and that made me, okay, cool, this is how I'm going to get through books. When I get on the exercise bike, I'm going to read. When I do my exercise, I'm going to leave my phone in the bedroom, so no distractions. And then when I get on the train to work, or I'm in the car, going to work, the Audible's on. And then that's how I just blitz through books. So I hope you like the video. I know there's been a bit of a distraction with the dog. Typical as always, I'm at the end of the video and she's not making a noise and she's chilling. So it is what it is, but hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.